So, I want to give my opinion on this Twitch and Allison Holker story. And this will probably be a very short commentary because I don't have a lot to say. And just an FYI before I get into the topic, I just dropped a new video on my second channel, Fem Strategy. So make sure you go watch and subscribe if you're interested in my non-race related content. The link is in the description box. Now, on to the topic. So, to my understanding, Allison is releasing a book where she talks about Stephen's substance addiction and mental health issues that he was dealing with before he unalived himself. And so Black people are outraged by this. They feel like Allison is tarnishing Stephen's legacy. And based on what I've been reading in the comment sections, like of all these gossip sites that are reporting on this, before this, there was no mention of an addiction or any substances found in Stephen's system at the time he passed. Stephen's cousin, who I believe is a Black woman, she has also come out saying that Allison made the whole family sign an NDA to attend the funeral. And people are saying that it's because Allison wanted to be the only one to profit off of Stephen's story. His mother also wrote a statement pretty much taken up for her son, and she called Allison out for being a liar. And Allison's daughter also responded in defense of her mother, and she said she felt disrespected by Stephen's family. And she also defended the NDA, and she said that it was put in place so that people wouldn't post pictures or videos of the funeral online. And Allison did respond to the backlash, and she basically said that the reason she's writing the book is to share her story in hopes that it will help other people with mental illness. And so Black people are all over the internet outraged by this. And as usual, it's Black women who have the most to say and who are most outraged. Even when it comes to Stephen's family, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen any of his male family members come out to support him. So far, from what I've seen, it's only women speaking on his behalf. And when it comes to his fans, mostly women are also speaking on his behalf. Black women. And even though I do agree with everyone saying that what Allison is doing doesn't help Stephen's legacy at all, it's still not Black women's responsibility to step up and try to protect it. Not Black women that don't know Stephen and who aren't related to Stephen. Stephen chose a white woman to marry, so the only women who should get involved with this are, again, the women in his family and white women, if they choose to do so. And I am not trying to be insensitive, but Allison is the woman that Stephen chose to marry and pass on his legacy to. And these are the consequences from his decision. In life or death, these are the consequences. And I do understand the Black women who may empathize with Stephen's mother, but it's still not your fight, because if this were a famous Black woman who died and her white husband was tarnishing her legacy, Black men would not be protecting her and her family just because she had a Black father or other Black male family members. They would not see themselves in those men, at least not enough to have empathy for the Black woman. They would be mocking her. They would be using this story as an opportunity to disparage Black women who date and marry out. They would have zero sympathy. And to be honest with you, other Black women wouldn't have any sympathy either, because Black women as a whole, we don't tend to empathize with Black women who date and marry non-Black men either. If this were Serena Williams or some other, famous Black woman who was married to a white man, the commentary on YouTube would be off the chain right now. And it would be coming from everywhere. Black women, Black men in the manosphere, and they would be dragging that woman for filth and mocking her for marrying a white man and leaving her wealth and her legacy with a white man. Black women would not hear the end of that. Do you hear me? And so far on this situation, where's the manosphere? Where are all the red pill girlies? All the girlies who try to scare Black women out of dating white men. Where are all the think pieces? It's too quiet for me on YouTube. I'm sorry, but it is. And they'll probably make videos now after I said something. But we all know that if the genders were reversed, oh my God, it would just be so many videos right now. That alone shows you why this is not Black women's fight. And ladies, you also need to ask yourself, if Stephen was alive, would he cape for a deceased Black woman whose legacy was being tarnished by her white husband? I highly doubt it. So I don't believe in Black women caping for anyone that would likely never cape for them. And I did see some Black women telling other Black women that this isn't our fight. So I will give those Black women credit. I saw a lot of Black women like that in the comment section. So I will acknowledge that I am seeing more Black women burn the cape. I think a lot more of us are getting the message. But in my opinion, there are still way too many Black women caping for Stephen and trying to protect his legacy. So this message is for them. And one thing that I saw that is really embarrassing and cringy is the Black women who are trying to use this situation to basically scare Black men into dating Black women only. They're basically trying to do the same thing the Black community does to Black women. Oh, this is what happens when you date out. This is what happens when you date a white man. Y'all are basically trying to do that with Black men. And that to me is so embarrassing because, ladies, nothing is going to stop Black men from dating and marrying out if that's what they want to do. And that kind of fear mongering only works on Black women. Only Black women let the Black community scare us into limiting our options to Black men only. Black men will never fall for that, ladies. They're going to date whoever they want and still continue to marry out despite them choosing poorly and despite them dealing with women like Allison Holker. In fact, they're still going to defend women like Allison and tell you that Black women do the same thing to Black men. And some of them I even saw in the comment section are saying that Black women are worse. And this is part of why I think that Black women are more vocal about this than Black men. It's because they don't care like that. The way they see this is that this is one individual white woman that is tarnishing her Black man's legacy. This is not all white women. This is not all non-Black women. All of them will not do this to a Black man. That is their mindset. And that is the mindset that Black women should also have when it comes to dating non-Black men. So ladies, instead of trying to use this story to scare Black men out of swirling, you need to be taking notes. The next time there is a swirling gone wrong story involving a Black woman and a non-Black man, and all these Black men come out and try to scare you and say, oh, this is what's going to happen to you if you date out, you need to respond how they are responding to this situation. Oh, that's not all white men. That's that one. And Black men do it too, and they're just as bad. And you need to be virtually silent about it as well. Let Black men do all the talking and all the fear mongering. You don't need to make videos or make commentary trying to scare Black women out of swirling because it's a swirling gone wrong story. And I keep saying that Black men are so much smarter than Black women in this area. That interracial dating fear-mongering does not work with Black men at all. A lot of us don't fall for the fear-mongering anymore. A lot of us are still swirling it up. We don't care about the fear-mongering. But I'm trying to help more Black women adopt that mindset, even if you don't swirl. If you only date and marry Black men, still don't participate in the fear-mongering because guess what? The Black men who date Black women and marry Black women, most of them aren't trying to scare Black men out of dating non-Black women. They let them do whatever the fuck they want to do. And think about it, Black women. Why would you even want men that you have to scare into dating you exclusively? That is pathetic. I'm sorry. And also, why would you want a Black woman to endure the struggles of being with mentally ill Black men like Stephen, who allegedly had a substance addiction? It's just so sad to me that most Black women would rather see a Black woman struggle with a Black man than see him with a non-Black woman. Why do y'all want a Black woman to struggle with men who are addicts that want to unalive themselves? That kind of relationship will be traumatic for anyone. I don't care how much money they have. And I don't wish that on any woman and her children, especially a Black woman, because Black women been through enough. And I'm not saying that Allison had it the worst. Stephen was a high-earning man. He was doing very well for himself. But to my understanding, she went right back to white men a year and a half after Stephen passed. And now she's having to sell a tacky tell-all book to get money. And she's subjecting herself to a lot of scrutiny in the process. This is not just tarnishing Stephen's legacy, it's tarnishing hers as well. So for her to be okay with kind of sullying her brand and her reputation and her willingness to be seen in a bad light, that tells me that whatever she got from Stephen's estate wasn't enough to sustain the lifestyle that she was accustomed to before he passed. So look how she ended up. Again, she's certainly not in the worst position, but not the best either. So when women do things like this, you can kind of tell that, the financial situation, it may not be bad, but it ain't what it used to be. That's what it's given. And how much you want to bet that Allison will probably never date another Black man again? And I did look up her new man, her white man, and he is successful, but his net worth was nowhere to be found. I doubt that he's as rich as Stephen was. So this kind of goes back to what I said in my last video about how certain non-Black women just don't have the same options in their own community. And so they choose Black men because they have higher value with them. But then what happens is they come to the Black community and end up struggling with a black man, if not materially, then mentally and emotionally. And then they go right back to their own community when it's all said and done, because they found out it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. So essentially, black women, you're competing with these non-black women for a life of struggle in some capacity when you compete with them for black men. Because that is what this is. You know, when I see black women saying, oh, well, this is why you should choose a black woman to marry, it's competition. And it's like, girl, no. If non-black women want to participate in the struggle and live the lives that a lot of black women are living with black men, let them do it. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of black women are cool with struggling with a black man as long as they can say they have a black man. And to me, that is sad. And unfortunately, what I'm saying right now is going to go through one ear and out the other with some black women, because a lot of y'all are cool with the struggle. As long as you can say you have a black man and that black man did not choose a non-black woman over you, you're cool with struggling. You'll take the mentally ill drug addict as long as you can say you have a black man. There are way too many black women who reek of desperation. And as a black woman, I get secondhand embarrassment watching y'all literally beg them to be loyal to you. And I cringe seeing black women, and especially unambiguous dark-skinned black women, protecting black men that don't even choose black women or choose to share their wealth with a woman who looks like you. And I'm not saying you should be mad about who they choose at all, but like I keep saying, I want us to get to a place of indifference. Stop feeling the need to protect black men who get screwed over by their non-black women. When you are truly indifferent, you don't feel the need to protect them. Allison is who Steven chose, and what's happening now are the consequences of his choice. It's not your fight, and you get absolutely nothing by attacking Allison on his behalf. Y'all need to burn the cape. So I spoke on this way longer than I thought I would. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.